No matter which golden era bodybuilder you look at, they all share the distinct timeless look, something today's classic physique competitors still struggle to replicate. Despite having less advanced knowledge, equipment, nutrition, and drugs, those absolute legends built physiques that still stand as the gold standard. So, what made their physique so special? And why do today's bodybuilders, even in the classic physique, look so different? In this video, I will break down exactly what made those golden era physiques so unique, and most importantly, show you how to apply those principles to achieve that classic look yourself. The main trademark of golden era bodybuilders were their massive fucking arms. The arms either completely overpowered the rest of the body, or they were around the same level of development as the torso. And this was the case for every single one of them. Everyone and their mama had big ass guns. Only rarely did the torso overshadow the arms. That only happened if we talk about Arnold's chest or Samir Bannout's back, which are one of, if not the best, chest and back in bodybuilding history. Now, when you compare golden era arms to modern day classic physique competitors, the comparison isn't even close. The average golden era bodybuilder would easily outclass the arms of 6-time Mr. Olympia Daddy Sebum. And this fact is especially true in the forearm department, as they are for the most part not judged in today's competition, resulting in skinny ass forearms, due to no one actually training them directly. Ramon is the only modern day competitor who has respectable forearms. Meanwhile, again, the average golden era bodybuilder had thick ass Popeye forearms. Having massive arms is only one part of the equation, but having proportionally bigger arms than the Dells is what really completes the golden era look. Everybody nowadays is obsessed with having big ass death style delts to create that V taper, but the problem with having delts which are too big for the rest of the body is that it disrupts the flow of the physique. Instead of the upper traps flowing seamlessly into the delts and the flow continuing into the upper and forearms, the flow of modern day shoulder dominant physiques just stops at the delts, as they're too overdeveloped compared to the rest of the body. This draws all the attention to the delts, but that attention cannot flow anywhere, destroying the proportions and symmetry of the physique, making the upper and forearm look skinnier than they actually are, besides already not being as developed as they used to be in the golden era. Now when looking at the side view, the rear delts were slightly underdeveloped in the golden era, which isn't a bad thing per se, as this enhances the size of the arms and creates the illusion of having bigger triceps. Nowadays, the rear delts are way too overdeveloped, which completely overpowers the rest of the arm, making them look small as fuck in proportions to the delts, which just doesn't look aesthetic at all. The common notion to the delt argument is that it shouldn't be too big of a concern for most natty lifters, as the delts have a lot of androgen receptors and more of those compared to the rest of the body, which causes them to blow up even more when taking PEDs. But this delt dominant physique is still 100% a thing amongst a lot of natty lifters, which you can see in comparison with me and one of the natty OGs of YouTube, Alex Leonidas. All of this is not to say that the shoulder should be completely neglected to enhance the illusion of having a bigger arm. You can still have big shoulders and look like a golden era bodybuilder. But the key factor is your arms have to be proportionally bigger than the shoulders. By the way, if you are not happy with your results or you want to be absolutely sure that you are maximizing your natural muscle growth potential, make sure to check out my one-to-one coaching to fully commit to your goals and let me help you reach them. Or if you're interested in some of the best programming in the world without any hand-holding, make sure to check out my programs, where you get 5 different programs for any specific muscle building goal you can think of for the price of one program. The links for my one-to-one online coaching and programs are in the description and comments down below. Check them out, bro. Besides the arms, the second most important muscle group to get that golden era physique is the chest. Every single golden era bodybuilder had a comically full and thick chest, just like a superhero. And just like for the arms, the shoulders to chest ratio is massively important for that golden era look. As I said, every single bodybuilder nowadays has a shoulder dominant physique. The shoulders most often are even bigger than the chest. This just ruins the look and makes the chest appear smaller than it actually is, bringing all the attention to the delts, which is the complete opposite of the golden era. It's by having proportionally smaller delts compared to the chest, which makes the chest look even thicker than it already is. It is no secret that golden era bodybuilders were criticized for having small legs relative to today's competition. Not because they couldn't grow bigger legs, they simply didn't want to. That is because smaller legs accentuates the upper body, leading to a better illusion of having a taper and making the upper body seem wider than it actually is. I would even argue that today's bodybuilders have really overdeveloped legs, and that the golden era look with smaller legs, which accentuates the upper body, is much more appealing. Physiques now flow from the ground up and not the other way around. Your legs should complement your upper body and not dominate it. And why did most of you guys start lifting in the first place? To grow massive legs, to get striated glutes, or to grow thick as arms and get a big chest? They are called the bro muscles for a reason. That said, modern bodybuilders have access to much more and better equipment, especially for the legs, which helped a lot, as machines are simply the superior option when it comes to pure hypertrophy training. Now that I've established the elephant in the room, despite the lower body not holding up to today's standards, you need to realize that the quads are not what makes the legs of modern day competitors completely overpower the golden era generation. If you compare the quads of old school guys compared to modern competitors and look really closely, you can see that the quads are almost the same size in both eras. The key factor which makes the legs of modern day competitors completely dominate the old guys are the overdeveloped adductors, which gives them that thick tree trunk leg look and X-taper. Again, the golden era guys didn't want to have the biggest legs possible, but a big factor is Arthur Jones, the genius behind Nautilus, who invented the adductor machine in the mid-90s. And the 90s are exactly when the bull-looking legs started to appear. Of course, more PEDs are also a big factor, but in my opinion, this is the biggest reason why the legs look like they look today. Now, when it comes to the hamstrings, all I can say is that they were doo-doo compared to nowadays. And no, I will not talk about the glute situation. No man should give a flying fuck about having striated glutes or not. That is some shit. The only thing which makes the golden era leg department really stand out compared to modern day competitors are their massive calves. Every single one of them had calves almost matching the size of the quads.
No, because you need to have symmetry. Your calves should always be the size of your biceps.
Just like the forearms, calves are not important for modern judging criteria, but that is not the only reason why they look so puny compared to the upper leg. It is simply due to the upper leg just being too damn big, which completely dwarfs the calves, making them look smaller than they actually are due to the out of whack proportions. This calf to quads matching ratio is much easier to hit when you put your legs on the back burner, focusing more on the upper body while keeping your calves higher on the priority list. Although the backs were very developed back then and were never a real weakness like the delts, it was not as huge of a focal point as the chest and arms. The widest and most dense backs in the golden era belong to Franco Columba and Samir Bannout, which again are arguably one of the best backs in bodybuilding history. The backs of the other guys in that era, which had impressive arms and chest, had fairly developed backs, but it was nothing crazy. When looking at these pictures, you can definitely tell that most guys were trap dominant, meaning they had more impressive traps than lats, which is not to say that you should replicate this look, as the lats are massively important for creating a V-taper, especially when you are not focusing on your delts for that golden era look. My guess is that a lot of their back work went into the upper traps due to them being more dynamic with their movement, which is not good for lat training at all, as you need to be really precise with your technique to hit the lats, as it's a very difficult muscle to develop. The only golden tidbit I can give you for the back is that the golden era guys swore by wide grip pull-ups. They went with only body weight, but chest to bar, which is even harder than mindlessly adding weight and doing a bunch of half reps in the bottom position. Chest to bar pull-ups are perfect, as this allows you to train the lower lats where they have the best leverage. No wonder why everyone back then had really well developed lower lat sweeps. A major underestimated factor in achieving the golden era look is maintaining a slightly higher body fat percentage. Yes, the old guys were lean, but not to the extreme levels we see today, where competitors are shredded down to sub 5% body fat with paper thin, thick skin and zero water retention. This makes a huge difference in appearance. A bit more body fat gives the physique a healthier, more natural look, while adding muscle fullness, especially in areas like the chest. The same thing stands true in natural competitions nowadays. The pre-show physique looks much fuller and more aesthetically pleasing compared to the overly depleted, stage-ready look. The big question now is the golden era standard even achievable as a natty? The size? Let's be real, no. The proportion? Absolutely. When you go a few years back into the silver era of bodybuilding, where steroids weren't even a thing yet, meaning that everyone was a certified natty, they all look like golden era bodybuilders, just smaller versions of them. Reg Park was Arnold's idol, and he literally looks like he just copy-pasted Reg Park's physique and put a little bit more muscle on his frame. I already went over which muscle groups you should be prioritizing, but the most important part is that you need to develop the right ratios and proportions between each muscle group. The arms should be bigger than the shoulders. The chest and back should be bigger than the shoulders. The arms could either be slightly bigger and or at the same level of development as the chest and back. The chest is more important than the back when it comes to the torso. The forearms should be around the same level of development as the arms. The upper body should definitely be a lot bigger than the lower body. Your quads should be more developed than the adductors, and the calves should be around the same level of development as the upper leg. The most common way to never achieve a golden era physique is to train like the golden era guys themselves. Only free weights, a bunch of junk volume, high reps, supersets, etc. You need to realize that everything works when you take PEDs. As a natty, you need to train in a way that gives you the maximum possible results, which means that you need to use modern day methods to shape that old school golden era physique. Take advantage of modern day science and combine it with hard fucking work. So, if you want to know how to maximally develop the golden era muscles by prioritizing them in the most effective way possible, make sure to check out this video of mine.